Hello, can you hear us?
Nope. All right, this is what I want you to do.
Go talk. Wait, how about this?
No, that will show our picture. Well, we haven't gone live yet. Right? All right, and
Hello.
we're back. We're back again, aren't we?
Shady's back. Tell a friend.
Yes. Tell every friend. Like and share. Sorry for the couple of bye weeks. We had a couple of issues here at the Area Nerdy One laboratories. Some breakouts. And Matt has to go on to clean up all of his messes that he made.
Yeah, by things broke out, we mean that Matt let them out.
Matt let them out. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, yeah. But, good news. We're back again, and we have some things we want to shit on.
As usual, yeah.
As usual.
That's all fandom really is finding things that you feel comfortable shitting on, apparently.
Yeah.
We'll try to offer some constructive criticism. We'll be judicious, but
and of course, if you like these things, more power to you. It's just that we feel like, as the title of this episode explains, we feel like they've been going on for a little bit too long.
Yeah. And all right, just to jump right in and give an example, Jared, what's one that you're thinking that's just been around too long?
I think you're going to agree with me. I think a lot of people can agree with me on this, but The Simpsons.
Hell yeah, yeah. That's that's exhibit number 1. Yeah,
that's like the poster child of sticking around for too long.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, and then there's also the fact that the producers of The Simpsons just will not let it die. They will not let it go.
It makes too much money, but the thing is, it doesn't seem like anyone really knows what to do with it now. I think one of the main issues is the character of Homer. At the beginning of all this, he was a really kind of kind, well-meaning man. You know, but now he's just kind of been turned into this cynical, mean-spirited person. Yeah,
it's not even that he. I'm hard pressed to say that he's cynical and or mean-spirited, just because they don't give him a character anymore. He's literally just a
Flanderization.
They invented and Flanderized their entire cast. Yeah. So, just a little actually moment here. So, Jared, can you explain what Flanderization is?
Yeah. So this is actually a term that about characters that came out from The Simpsons, which is really interesting. The character Flanders was the character originally was the perfect neighbor, very nice, kind, Christian, kind of just the kind of like the Dinkelberg of Homer Simpson. But what happens is, Flanderization is that one aspect of a character will become their entire personality. One trait, like big ears would just get bigger and bigger, buck teeth will get bigger and bigger. But for Flanders, it was his Christianity became his dominant feature.
That's the only thing. Yeah, that's the only thing that drives him. Yeah. And you saw that with the other characters of The Simpsons, where Bart's mischievousness was his only quality, So basically, they all became much more 2-dimensional, and until they've been going on for nigh on 30 years at least, right?
Oh yeah, nigh on 30 years. Because they were, did they start in 1989?
I believe it was 1989. So yeah,
1989.
That's 32 years.
Wow. It's a long time.
We make fun of Matt for liking One Piece, but if anyone's a Simpsons fan out there, damn, they probably got more episodes than One Piece at this point.
Yeah, well, they have 28 seasons?
Yeah.
But at least One Piece has a cohesive storyline, at least, that you can somewhat follow. How about you, Jimmy? What do you think about The Simpsons, and what do you think is happening with it?
Well, Jerry, you are my brother, so you recall our past.
Oh yeah.
And I used to be obsessed with The Simpsons when I was a kid.
It's because we weren't allowed to watch The Simpsons.
Yeah, that was just gasoline on the fire, because when your parents were like, "No, you can't watch that," it's like, well, I gotta see what's up with this.
Yeah.
So,
mid beer,
yeah. So yeah, I when I was watching it, they were rerunning the earlier seasons, and those were the ones where they actually had some decent writing and some good jokes, and of course, even this would have been season 12, I want to say. I don't know. But this was mid Simpsons career by comparison, where it started to go downhill. But even those episodes were would make me laugh and stuff as a kid. Now it's unfunny. It's literally it's gotten to the point where it's an open secret that basically the Simpsons writing crew is out of idea. They've got tons of ideas, but they just don't have any good
Comedic
material.
drive.
Any drive or good material and stuff. Yeah, like, they've gone through every conceivable type of story there is. That's one thing. So you know how people are like, Simpsons, like...
did it.
Simpsons did it. Simpsons predicted the future.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if there's like an algorithm or something where it's like, okay, if you make up a million stories, eventually they're all going to come true because there's only like certain situations that can happen.
Well, would that be for when you're parodying real scenarios? Because like obviously like we talked about One Piece and how many episodes and how long that's been going on.
Right.
Like that wouldn't fall into that algorithm because it's a fantasy setting.
Right. And honestly, like whenever people are like, "Oh yeah, Simpsons predicted this," it's when I go back and look at like the comparison and like it's usually a stretch or something.
Yeah, it is.
And like when people are like they predicted the pandemic, and it's like, well, they were making fun of the first way, like when SARS was going on, like back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like they were making fun of something that was going on, so it's like it's not really like, oh, they predicted it. That was happening.
That was a bit of a stretch, yeah.
Yeah. So, what do I think about the Simpsons? I've got a soft spot for the Simpsons in my heart, but I have not sat down and watched a Simpsons episode in probably about 15 years.
Yeah. I have the same feeling. I never really had the same emotional attachment to The Simpsons, except for the Treehouse of Horrors. Those ones, I will rewatch those over and over again. They're just so good. I love them.
Why were they allowed to have just more artistic license when they were writing those?
I think they were specifically, and of course they did a lot of parodies, and they're really good. And lately they've just like even the Treehouse of Horrors are really bad. But as any true Simpsons fan would know, that the golden age was basically ended for the Simpsons during the episode "The Principal and the Pauper."
I thought that well, you tell your side of the story.
Yeah,
then.
so basically it's a storyline where they basically retcon and just destroy the character of Seymour Skinner. Sorry.
Yeah. So if I recall correctly, it turns out that Skinner is not Skinner. He
is an imposter.
Yeah, he's an imposter. Like he took the real Skinner's identity after
Vietnam.
Not he didn't like steal his identity, but like he sort of like his Skinner's mom thought he was Skinner, and so he's like, yes, I'll be Skinner, and he felt he basically was that role for years, and which honestly, like if telling that story, like if you were watching a Simpsons episode and you heard me describe, like you just heard me describing, that's like a really poignant story.
Yeah,
that's actually really good, but
at the time, I think how they handled it and how they wrote it and the timing of it and how people were endeared to the characters, and kind of like taking this character like that people like and it care about and say it doesn't really exist. None of this really mattered. It kind of rubbed people the wrong way. Even the creators and Matt Groening said that it was a mistake.
Well, at the very end, I'm recalling this. At the very end of the episode, they resolve things and they bring back Skinner, who's not actually Skinner, as the principal, and he's Seymour Skinner, and they're basically like, what are we going to do? And they're basically like, we're not going to acknowledge it ever again. Yeah. And that's the wrap up of the episode, which is a little bit funny, but like you say, like if this is a storytelling, then that's just lazy writing, and it's a character that people liked and enjoyed, and now they've got that association with it.
Yeah, it's basically I did watch the newest season that was released onto Hulu. I watched the entire season. I didn't laugh once.
How many episodes are there?
There's like 8.
They're only doing 8 episodes?
Yeah.
Huh. Jeez.
Yeah. No Treehouse of Horrors in there. There was like a joke for the Christmas one where she's like, remember back when, like, reminiscing when, like, way back when before they had the kids, or like when the kids were really young, and like, there was there was a white guy in the White House, and Tom Brady was winning the Super Bowl, and that was like they're going, oh yeah, that year, and it's like, oh okay, yeah, because that's happened a lot,
Yeah.
But it was but I kind of chuckled at that. I wasn't like laughing. That was about it. And the rest of it was just kind of just like, okay, this is just Simpsons humor.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like maybe I should go back and watch some of the old episodes and be like, as an adult, because as a kid I would laugh at anything, obviously. Yeah. And but yeah, I wonder if those episodes were actually good.
But in my opinion, I think Simpsons is one of those series that just needs to end. I mean, they've had a good run. They're the longest running sitcom.
So here's an interesting tidbit, because this is kind of like a push and pull, like apparently behind the scenes with The Simpsons, because the writers have burnout. They're like running out of ideas. They've done every conceivable episode known to man. It's been going on for 30 years, as we mentioned before. But the execs and like Fox do not want to let them go because Simpsons is still profitable. They still make all kinds of merchandise and product off of it. So they do
even
not
though
want...
the viewership every season after I think the 7th season has been steadily decreasing.
Like who is there even people like actively going out of their way to watch The Simpsons like as
probably
it's airing?
not. It's probably like one of those things like people don't really. It has to stay around because it's part of like Fox's lineup and everything.
Right. So that's something that's going on behind the scenes, and we see that with a couple other shows we'll probably mention. But basically, these shows have been going on for so long that their clout is so high. The people behind the scenes don't want to let it go, but the producers and the people working on it want to wrap things up because they've had enough. They're at the end of the road.
So that actually brings us to my second show that I think has been going on too long. Family Guy.
Yeah, similar.
Same thing. Seth MacFarlane has wanted to end the show for a long time.
Same. What's the name of the company that owns the show?
Fox.
I know, but like, what do you call it? Same
distributor.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's they're both Fox. Same exact problem. Same thing going on. And Family Guy, they've got a few good. Recently, the past few seasons, like people have been a little bit more open to Family Guy. I think that they've really tried to step up their writing, but
it's a clip show. It's a clip show. It's very hard to watch. I also feel like a lot of the Family Guy jokes are very mean-spirited, and I don't really like that. That's what kind of drew me towards the Simpsons, because their jokes were, if they were mean-spirited, it was called out, and it wasn't like a tender moment,
Exactly, and like so that's one of the things that kind of interests me about these shows. Family Guy was kind of that late '90s, early aughts culture where edginess was kind of conflated as humor. And like we thought it was hilarious at the time, and like we were kids, we thought it was hilarious at the time. But it hasn't 100% aged well into the modern age. It, like, being mean-spirited and edgy like that doesn't track as well anymore, if at all.
It really doesn't. Although, like you said, the writing is picking up, but, I mean, they've done just about everything under the sun, and it's obviously just a blatant ripoff of The Simpsons and other, family sitcoms. It just doesn't like ring as good as it was.
That goes for let's try to get away from. We've just been talking about cartoons. I've got a couple of cartoons on this list. Let's go with a live action adaptation. Okay, what's the live action? You know what? Let's go with movies. All right, live action movie franchise. Do you have one
that needs to end?
Yeah,
got it.
Okay, let's hear it.
I got it. Here we go. Are you ready?
I said twice, yes.
He's ready. He's ready, folks. He better be ready. This three times now. But Transformers.
Yeah.
It makes an ungodly amount of money, but it's terrible movies. I say that just end it now and then reboot it as like, what the first Transformers was, a cartoon series. Make it edgy.
Jarrett, you are behind the times on this, bud. So they're not going to make. I don't think they're making a cartoon. But remember Bumblebee? The movie
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee?
It crashed and burned. Well, it didn't crash and burn. It didn't make the amount of money as they wanted to.
But it was very highly rated as far as writing and story and stuff. It was a huge step forward, and they I watched a little bit of it. So like the visual, so the Michael Bay Transformers, Transformers through what was it, like Revenge of the Fallen or Last Night. So they started, they still made a lot of money, but they started seeing diminishing returns, and especially with the critics. Like, critics hated it. They were bad movies. And in the Transformers, I thought they were great. Again, as a kid, I thought they were great, but you can never tell what's going on because all the CGI is really good, but it was just too detailed and.
Although, I remember I really haven't seen any of the movies past the second one. But like the first Transformers movies, in some of the fights, they would slow it down where you could see it, and those were some good fights. Like my favorite fight is Optimus Prime versus Bone Crusher.
I don't remember that one.
This is the Street Sweeper.
It was a street sweeper, or he's like a crane of some kind, right?
Yeah, some kind of crane or something.
Yeah, that was a good one. And he like rolled around on wheels like a hockey player.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But then it just started getting terribly lazy, even for Michael Bay.
So yeah, which is a pretty low bar to clear to begin with. And I despise Michael Bay as a director. But Bumblebee, when they actually showed Transformers, like the scenes on Cybertron, they made the Transformers look much closer to the cartoon versions.
Yeah,
it was much more simplified and much more easy to watch and understand what the hell's going on. Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking maybe I'm not saying like a 3D version. I'm saying like a like the first Transformers movie,
like
with
terrible 80s animation.
Okay, first of all, you need to get off of that high horse, okay? We've been spoiled, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have, but
because even bad animation now is like good compared to that movie.
Yeah, but like something like that, like some like the like a great like anime studio on that, they would do wonders.
Yeah,
you know, just throw a Michael Bay budget at it for animation, you're gonna blow everybody out of the water, no matter what.
If it's good writing.
If it's good writing, and you know, it's Transformers. People are gonna kind of go in there with the low bar for the writing. They're going in there for the visuals and the spectacles. Anyway,
there was gonna be a Beast Wars reboot show at some point. I thought that was a go watch my TikTok. It's the most famous one I have. Beast Machines was a very good show too.
Yeah, it was very interesting too because we grew up. At that time, everyone saw like all the Transformers were cars, you know, these different automobiles, and then suddenly now they're animals, which was a really interesting jump.
Yeah, well, that was my first encounter with Transformers. So for years after that, people were like, Optimus Prime, he turns into a fire truck. I was like, what? You mean Optimus Primal? He turns into a gorilla? What? Fire truck? That's boring.
That was your first Transformer.
Yeah. That was Optimus Prime. That's boring.
And it's always about the toys. The Beast Wars Transformers toys freaking slapped. Like the Dragon Megatron.
Oh yeah. I had that. That slapped. So, okay, so Transformers definitely. It sounds like they're going to reboot it.
Yeah.
What's another one?
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people love these movies. They absolutely love them. I've watched a few of them, and I can't stand them at all.
I mean,
I like Vin Diesel.
Yeah, it was one of those movies like, you know, if you know what you're getting into, then it's fun. Like with Mortal Kombat, you know what you're paying for. It's going to be a movie where they punch and kick each other, and it's violent. You know, if you're you're going to see Fast and Furious because you want to see like car stunts and cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to. You know, I can see why people enjoy it entirely, but it's one of those things where you have to kind of be into that when you're going to see it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I can see why. That's one of the ones like I'm not too pressed about. But I honestly, like having seen clips and stuff from, you know, the later movies, it's not. Yeah, I'm not going to pay money for that.
There is already they're in the works for Fast 10. Coming out in 2022.
10? I thought they were still on 8.
Nope. The 9 is coming out with Charlize Theron coming back as Cypher with another terrible hairdo.
Did you actually watch that one?
I did not. I honestly, after like the third one, I was like, I get it.
I think that the first one is the only one I've actually like watched front to back.
Well, I watched the one where Vin Diesel's trying to revenge his... This is a major spoiler, but he's trying to revenge his girlfriend who was killed by this Mexican cartel dealer, you know, like, drug dealer. And they're running, like, sports cars underneath, like, ground to, like, run drugs.
So why sports cars?
Exactly. But then, like, he goes through this whole process of getting revenge and killing this guy, destroying the network and everything. Turns out his girlfriend's alive the entire time. So, the whole point of the movie is... non-existent.
So, like, why... So, instead of, like, I don't know, hooking up a golf cart to a few wagons full of cocaine or something, they decided to drop an extra.
Catapult.
They decided to drop an extra $500K on a Ferrari so that they could put coke into its trunk before they ran it across the border. Is that what I'm getting from this?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. No, absolutely. That's it. That's you got it. You solved the entire formula for that franchise.
So they were like, all right, we've got a little John Deere garden tractor that can haul everything we need, and we've got like a freaking Bugatti that can haul like 1 square foot of cocaine. And like, the Bugatti.
They're actual like criminals and like bank robbers on the other side of the world, like getting away in a minivan and doing fine. And these guys are like hot wiring cars and stuff to go like do $10 million worth of damage to city property.
It's obvious they started drug running because they're trying to make payments on their
cars,
expensive ass sports cars. Yeah,
and then I think the one, not this movie that's coming up, but the one before, they're like working for the government and they have like this whole big like facility of sports cars that people get to use. It's like, why?
And then
basically there's I'm gonna cut you off. There's a formula. There's the bad guy. The bad guy fights the good guys, and then he becomes an ally in the next movie. There, I solved it.
And in between, The Rock does super awesome jacked rock shit.
Yeah, they got biceps.
I heard someone describe The Rock as Beyonce for dudes, and I don't think I've ever heard anything more accurate in my life.
I feel, no offense to Beyonce or Beyonce fans, but I feel like The Rock would be a little bit more chill.
I think he'd be easier to approach, honestly, which is surprising because he is enormous and like physically scary. But like, I feel like Beyonce, I don't know. She seems like she'd be nice, but it'd probably be harder to like get past her entourage to get to her.
She's the queen bee.
Yeah, queen bee.
You can't approach the queen bee getting through her drones.
Nah,
gotta get that money.
So. All right, next one.
For me, honestly, I saw the first one, and I'm tired of seeing these come out. I don't like any of them. They're bad. Conjuring.
Is that James Wan? Was he the one that directed that?
I think so. And then, like, of course, that spinoff of Annabelle and
is
Nun.
Is Insidious part of the Conjuring universe? Controverse?
I do not think so. I do not think it, but I think they have a couple of the same actors though.
So like, the basic premise of the Conjuring universe, as I understand it, is Patrick Wilson plays, and I forget the actress's name.
Yeah, she was the one that was part of the college scandal, right?
No. That's a different person.
They look alike.
Vera Farmiga. Yep. So,
Vera Farmiga? And Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson. Who did I say?
Somebody else.
Okay, so Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga play a couple who are paranormal investigators, and they're based on the real life paranormal investigators.
Yeah, it's not her.
Yeah, it's not. No.
Yeah, I completely thought it was her.
Okay, so they play a couple of paranormal investigators based on real life paranormal investigators, and they have like a collection of these cursed objects, one of which is the Annabelle doll. And the movie makes the Annabelle doll look like stuff out of nightmares. So I looked it up, and the Annabelle doll is just like a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah, it's just a Raggedy Ann doll. It like made in a factory. There's
a tag that says "Made in China" on it, probably.
Yeah, so like you think like Annabelle is like, you know, this demonic looking doll, but it's actually just something that was shit out by a freaking company.
Yeah, it's. I mean, so these claims are dubious at best, but yeah, I have not actually seen any of these movies. Like those types of horror movies do not necessarily appeal to me. They seem like they're really based on just building up suspense for a jump scare.
Yeah,
and not in a good way. I mean, like some horror movies do that really, really well.
The thing is, I like being scared. But when it's just jump scares, that frustrates me. You know, I get angry. Like that's not scary to me. It's I saw somebody do an analysis on this. Like, a jump scare is not scary because that's our natural reaction.
Yeah.
When something happens, we jump back. That's the point.
Yeah.
Our body's doing it naturally. But when a movie makes you actually feel dread and genuine fear, that's where you have a good movie. And I feel like these movies are just jump scares basically.
Yeah. So
and loud noises.
Yeah. It's kind of a cheap thrill. What was my point on that? I had a train of thought.
You had a point.
I had a point to this.
I feel like in all of these movies they had a point, but they just lose them over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, so what was it? Okay? Here's what I like about like ghost stories and stuff. So ghost stories, they do the setup. The family goes to the haunted house. They find they're being haunted. They're like, what's going on?
The white family from HGTV.
Yes,
it's always those people. They're like the realtor's like the 17 families were dismembered here, and it's on top of an ancient burial ground, and everyone hates it.
Have you ever watched? Did you ever watch The Haunting of Bly Manor?
No.
Or no, The Haunting of Hill House.
Yes.
The Netflix show.
Oh no.
Haha. Full circle. So
that was a full circle of questioning. Yeah, a lot of yeses and nos in that. I like that. That's a character arc right there.
So there's that's a pretty good show because it kind of is like the ghosts are kind of like an allegory, a stand-in for like trauma that the family goes through, and like how they actually are dealing with that. So that's pretty good. But the family that moves into this haunted house is legit an HGTV family because the dad is flipping this big old haunted mansion to sell, and they're like 4 homeschooled kids that live with them, and it's they're just such an HGTV family. I just realized that.
I would like to see that, but like realistic homeschool kids, like the creepiest kids ever. Like the ghosts don't even want to like deal with them.
Nah, yeah, that's not fair. Kids, people out there are they get homeschooled. There's nothing particularly wrong or scary about them. What was wrong or scary about this family is that this dad was so freaking bent on flipping this house that he like just ignored that his family was going through like his trauma like right in front of his eyes. They're like, there are ghosts, and his wife's like losing her shit, and he's like, I've got to flip this house. He's like, and I'm like, why not just cut your losses anyway? So
James, a TikTok where it's like the lead up this house is like haunted. There's like millions of dead bodies in the basement, and then it cuts the count off going every white family flip it. Yeah, that'd be a good one. So that would be a good one.
Well, what was my favorite part of ghost stories is like they get into the haunted house, they're being haunted.
Yeah,
they're like, what's going on? And then the investigation, and like you find out like why this place is haunted. Like they investigate and they find like, oh, it was owned by a mad scientist who, I don't know, like had a pet bunny that ate people or something. I don't know. Like the part where like the investigation part where they actually get to figure out why everything's haunted. That's for some reason the part that I really enjoyed. Like the reveal. That's kind of like the most scary and horrifying part to me. Not scary part, but like I said, it's horrifying because you are actually seeing like this is why it's happening. Some movies like they never explain what happened, and it's good because it just builds up the eeriness and the dread. But yeah. So the Conjuring is kind of the Marvel universe of horror, though, because you know exactly what you're getting with each movie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Honestly,
I would say Marvel Universe is a franchise that could take a break, but they tend to reinvent themselves pretty well.
Yeah, they have enough. They actually know how to like use their diverse characters from the comic books and start using them. Like Shang-Chi, I'm excited for it. Like, excited for that. I am so ready for Venom v Carnage.
Right? That the Sony properties could be like the dark stuff that Disney isn't allowed to do.
Yeah. That's fair. But yeah, I think also when I say like especially for like the Transformers, when they say they need to stop, I think sometimes that means like, stop what they're doing and gotta reinvent the wheel, Yeah. I think also the Transformers and the Predator series, they kind of go together.
Yeah, what was it? This last one, they kind of lost the idea of what Predator is, I guess, in my opinion.
Yeah.
IMO. So yeah, Predator, the first one, and the second one, which isn't as good, but basically the Predator...
I like the second one.
Yeah, so the Predator, it's one of those things that builds up the dread. There's an invisible thing hunting them. They don't know what it is until finally there's a big climactic showdown. And it seems like the Predator, they kind of they turned it into a superhero movie, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of comedy in it, which was really odd, especially for an attempted horror movie.
Yeah, you know what movie gets slept on?
What?
Predators.
That is a good movie.
That is a really, really, really good movie.
It has no right being as good as it is. It definitely isn't the best. It could have used some better writing, and characters, but it's still really good. Yeah.
I think it's the best they could have possibly made that movie. Honestly, go check it out. Check it out, people. And
of course, if you guys have any suggestions of what you think has gone on for way too long, please put it in the chat, and we'll call it out.
Yeah. Moving on. I'd also be willing to argue Star Wars, but that's another franchise that they are pretty good at exploring new stuff. Like
not this recent trilogy.
No, not the recent trilogy. The recent trilogy was just a soulless cash grab that didn't care about anybody at all. But with things like The Mandalorian, The Bad Batch, the new season of Clone Wars, etc., with their non-movie material, they are actually much more willing to explore new
darker
facets, new facets of the universe, etc.
Yeah,
I'm about it. I'm for it. Is there anything else you got?
Well, we kind of got through quite a bit of it.
Want to do a flip side where we talk about maybe things that did not get enough time in the sun?
Oh, I am all about that. Okay, so because our sister is actually harassing us right now, mentally right now. Hi, Mom. You're watching us. Thanks.
Hi, Mom. You're the best mom ever. I hope things are going well.
This right here, this is why I'm alone in life, because I have to do things like this. Shout out my mom on my live stream.
And our sister.
And our sister.
How you doing, Jules? I hope things are going well for you, too.
Yes, I hope things are going good for you, too.
You're the best sister ever.
You're the best sister ever. Now leave us alone. If you want something answered, go in the chat.
Yeah,
you got to get past that boomer technology, that technology gap, you just got to learn how to use the internet.
But keep watching. We need those numbers to go up.
Yeah, keep watching and give us a like and a follow if you can. Wow. Anywho, something that didn't get enough time in the sun and absolutely deserves to come back is the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance.
Hell yeah.
The puppetry alone is worth it, and the characters are amazing.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal writing, actually. It's on Netflix, so if you have Netflix, please go watch it.
Yeah, go and go watch it. If you got time, watch the Dark Crystal movie. It's not the best movie in the world, but like Jared said, you're more along there for the Jim Henson visual magic.
Yeah, and of course, it's Jim Henson, so it's you go in there expecting the Muppets, Sesame Street, but in reality you're going to get something very dark and very mature, and that's what I like.
It's a dark fantasy,
exactly.
And so the problem that the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance ran into is a lot of Netflix shows happen. It was just too expensive, so
they bite off more than they can.
They bite off more than they can chew. Those puppets are expensive to make, let alone operate, and. Yeah, so Netflix is able to churn out some very good high-quality stuff.
It's just not able to sustain it.
Yeah, so with things like movies, you can... There's a general scaling with how much money you put into it. You can put a ton of money into it, and there's generally going to be a higher return on investment, the more effects and everything that you can put into it. Netflix's business model isn't really set up for that, so it has... So this happened to Marco Polo, this happened to Dark Crystal, The Crown... They were just too expensive, and it wasn't worth it for Netflix to keep them around.
You know what they should do? All right, Netflix, I'm going to give you a freebie right now. What you should do is, now that a lot of theaters are going under, buy those theaters and rent them out and play certain shows and movies that you produce, Netflix movies, in those theaters. That way you can put those high-quality shows and movies on the big screen and charge ticket prices.
So one of the big things that Netflix really is there a streaming category in the Oscars now? Did they get that done?
there's not a streaming category. It just falls under the same categories of shows, movies. Streaming doesn't really have a lot to it.
Yeah, so,
it still kind of looked down upon.
Yeah, so generally the rule, if I recall correctly, was a movie has to run X amount of weeks in a theater to be considered for the Oscars. Like that's the bottom line. And Netflix really wanted to get in on that. So one of the things that they tried doing was doing dual releases. Like it would play X amount of weeks in theaters and on Netflix, and theaters weren't about that.
Right.
If Netflix bought their own theaters, then they've got the cart and the horse basically for that Oscar contender.
And the thing is,
but I think they're already in Oscars at this point. So why would they?
Yeah, I mean, why would they even try? But you would get those ticket prices as well, and of course you would be giving especially like our local theater here is closed. If Netflix bought that out pretty cheaply and just played their movies and TV shows on there, get it like that.
That theater's back open now.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Never
mind.
That was Regal. So Regal shut down. Did you?
I didn't know. I have no idea. So I don't know.
So Regal shut down. I've got like 5 free Regal movie passes. I was like, I'll never get to use these.
Yeah.
I was that close to throwing them out, but the theater's open again. So I'm waiting for like just a slightly good movie so I can go see it.
You'll get there and be like, yeah, I'd like to use these, and they'll say, no, we reopened. This is Regal 2.0. This is regular Regal.
I'm banking more if they're like, you know what, we'll probably be closed tomorrow, whatever, just go in.
I honestly love going to the theater. One of the things I like is going to get a big thing of like overpriced popcorn and soda and sitting down and having to go to the bathroom in the middle of a movie and it just interrupting everyone's enjoyment.
I think that you listed the complaints about going to the movie theater under the like category.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
So
I don't like the movies I go to see at the theaters. I go for just that, basically.
I think now would be a good time to go because, like you, I don't think a lot of people in this area actually even know that they opened back up. So you might be able to get a theater to yourself.
Yeah, but also it could be the opposite. People are excited to go back to the theater.
Yeah,
and of course, if it's all going to be Disney movies anyway, so
right. What was I saying? So, did you buy stock in AMC?
I did not.
Apparently, that was the thing to do. It was at $15 a share like 2 months ago, and now it's about $55 a share.
I have my own personal opinions about that, but I'm not going to get into that.
This is a nerdy podcast, not a financial advice.
It's not a financial or political podcast. Let us know if you want to see that, though.
My advice just invest in Bitcoin until you're bankrupt.
That's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah. So
anywho,
yeah.
More things that haven't been in the sun though.
I got one. I forgot. Oh wait, I remember.
As you were gonna pitch it, you forgot it.
Penny Dreadful is what it's called.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys maybe. Yeah, so I don't think it got enough recognition while it was going on. So Penny Dreadful was like this, it was on Stars or Showtime, and it was like a dark fantasy show. It was in the 1800s. It was like combined Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein. What was the other one? I don't know. So like all those characters, it combined those characters like a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen almost. But it was really really good. It was really well written and clever, and it's had a great lineup. It had, oh God, what's her face? I'm gonna look her up right now because there we go. She was played by Eva Green.
Eva Green, she's a great actress.
Yeah, she was amazing. She was amazing in that. Timothy Dalton was in it. Rory Kinnear, I forget the guy's name. Rory something.
Yeah.
Basically, all these characters that like, hey, I've seen them and stuff, but they were all amazing actors. They all, I think, had stage experience, and some of the best TV performances that I've ever seen were on this show. The people were able to really chew the scenery and
that's something you get from stage actors, chewing some scenery.
Yeah. So yeah, it was amazing. Oh, and Frankenstein was in it as well. Frankenstein and the monster, the creature more of. So highly suggest that one. It only got 3 seasons, and then it it sort of ended abruptly in the last season. People expected there to be 10 episodes. There was only 8, if I recall, and then it kind of ended. And people were pretty shocked, myself included. And I was like, I gotta know how this ended, and I couldn't figure it out. So I was like, I'm gonna write a fanfic. That's how much I wanted to figure out. I wanted to have a conclusion. The ending was, I think, very good, but it wasn't satisfying.
It wasn't satisfying.
Yeah. Now there is a spin-off series that came out last year. It's called Penny Dreadful City of Angels.
That is good.
Also extremely good. It's got Natalie Dormer and Nathan Lane in it, who also put forward amazing performances. But the first Penny Dreadful series is honestly one of the best television shows I've ever seen, ever. Highly recommend. And I read the directors why they cut it off when they did, and I agree with them. But I definitely don't think it got enough recognition while it was on.
Yeah, no, I did like it. I like Penny Dreadful, City of Angels a little bit better. Natalie Dormer is just amazing in it. And
spoiler alert: she plays a demon that shapeshifts and personifies 4 different characters. So she plays her original evil self, and then she plays all 5 other different characters, and they all have different accents and styles and hair colors and personalities.
It's a couple of different ethnicities.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It's a tour de force. So
yeah,
she's quite good.
Yeah, and then I just love the 1930s aesthetic. Mm-hmm. I'm a sucker for that. As a big Fallout fan, I'm always ready for some kind of noir looking kind of material.
Yeah. My only complaint is that the main character is a detective. Mm-hmm. He's a Latino detective, the first one on the LAPD, and it starts off with a murder mystery, and then they just never mention the murder mystery again. Basically.
Yeah. Those are the drama takes kind of the front seat to the actual murders, which is frustrating.
Yeah.
Which is very frustrating, but it's still a very good series.
Yeah, highly recommend.
I have one that everyone across the board can agree with. Mm-hmm. Firefly.
Yeah.
Firefly deserves so much better, and it if you don't know what Firefly is, I highly recommend you go watch it. And then its movie Serenity, amazing, 2 amazing bits of fiction.
Right,
it's a western in space.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Yeah, it's got a cult following. The fans, myself included, are very devoted to it. Love it a lot. But it was on Fox in the early aughts, I want to say.
Yeah, and at that time they actually had a really Fox in general had a really bad time of canceling really good shows too early and keeping on really bad shows.
Yeah, and the thing was with that show, it was very high quality and there was a very devoted following, but it wasn't the numbers they were looking for.
It wasn't gangbusters.
Yeah.
They need basically Fox was at a point where they were we need more viewers, so we need constant viewership. We can't be shelling out that money. Right.
So yeah, highly recommend. You can pick up the DVD. It only have 1 season. You can pick up the DVD collection for $5 probably at this point.
But the characters, the thing is the CGI and the sets are sometimes iffy, but the characters are what make up the entire show. It's amazing,
and the CGI for the time was pretty stellar.
Was pretty good, and
pun intended.
Yeah, and the movie Serenity, that movie holds up just as a standalone movie, really good. Like Jimmy said, there's a lot of very dedicated fans to the show, but it's also been shipped around a lot for a reboot. Joss Whedon was set to come on, but then he dropped out, and then it's been kind of pushed back and forth. Who's going to pick this up when?
Right. Apparently there's a Firefly comic book series that's been released over the past few years that's quite good. I've been meaning to read that.
Yes, but of course that doesn't. That it needs to be something. It needs to be more substantial.
Yeah. Dude, I saw that movie. I saw Serenity when I was probably 12. I want to say those Reavers scared the ever living shit out of me.
Yeah, it's so effective the way they use them.
Yeah,
it's really good. Basically, they're zombies, but they use them well.
Yeah,
and they use them really well because it's a show don't tell mentality, especially for when you watch the first season, you don't see Reavers at all, but they're always an omnipresent. They're just always there.
Yeah, it's the dread factor.
Yes. So when you see them in the movie, it blows you out of the water. Like, this is it.
Yeah.
The movie did get a lot of backlash for killing off quite a bit of the main characters.
Well,
but
what do you want? They only got a. Hi, Julia.
Hi, Julia. Did you figure out how to use the chat finally? We're so happy.
Yeah. So
we love you.
All right, back to Serenity killing off characters. Spoiler alert: Serenity killed off characters.
Yeah.
But of course, what do you expect? They only had they canceled their show and they only had one movie. What else are they going to do with it?
Yeah, exactly. They gotta show it. But they introduced the Reavers like almost immediately in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Where the show, obviously there's the big lead up. And you haven't seen anything. Julia, what are you talking about? Out in the water.
I think there's a little bit of lag on our chat, so she's about 30 seconds behind us as far as thought stream.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, but they go right into the Reavers, and it's really good. And
all right, we've been on this one point for like 5 minutes now.
Yeah, it's a good point though. It's Firefly. It's the classic that has the show you go to that you can point to say canceled way too early and ahead of its time.
Yeah. But then again, it got canceled before it had a chance to be bad, so...
That's fair.
Okay. Is there any other shows that just didn't get enough love or attention or got canceled too soon?
Honestly, I'm going to throw one out there. Go back to something that's been around too long. I will have to explain myself a little bit on this one. Avatar.
Which one?
The blue people.
Okay.
Okay,
just Avatar.
Avatar in general. Obviously, yes, there has been the one movie, but we've been talking about the sequels basically since this one came out.
Kind of, yeah.
And I'm at the point where like the build-up has been almost 20 years now.
It's 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I overshot that. But
yeah.
We've been talking about this for 10 years. And I feel like I'm already at, fatigue with this. Like, oh, when is it going to come out? It's going to come out this year. No, it's next year. And then pushing it back. Who's going to be on it? I just feel like it's already overstayed its welcome at this point.
Honestly, this is the most thought I've given to Avatar since I walked out of the theater 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because it's a good movie, but I was never, begging for a sequel. And so we brought this up in a previous show, but after Avatar came out, they started running some of these news stories. They're like, there's this new kind of depression where people are getting sad that they can't go to Pandora and there's no Avatar world that they can experience. And as a Star Wars fan, I'm just first time.
As a Jurassic Park fan, I'm just welcome to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's not being depressed. That's just being a fan of something. That, you get sad that you can't be in that world.
After Avatar: The Last Airbender came out, everybody was just so depressed that we couldn't go there.
Yeah.
We couldn't have our own bison.
A flying bison. Yeah, hell yeah.
Sky bison, yeah. It's, yeah, I mean, it's going to be high budget. I'm just not interested in seeing it. I'm just not interested in it at all.
Right. What? Yeah, what good? There wasn't really any, major merchandising coming from that either.
Not really.
It didn't,
There was at least one video game I know of.
Yeah, so, things the MCU, Star Wars, Simpsons, etc., they really lend themselves well to merchandising and
putting out content.
Really, they're I know that there's a big section of Disney World that is Pandora themed, but apart from that, there really isn't any.
It's Universal, I think.
No, that's Disney. It's definitely
really?
Disney. Yeah.
Even Disney owns Pandora.
Yeah. Those. Remember the movie where the guys who were blowing up the forest to try and dig that stuff up?
Yeah.
That's Disney. The company that's trying to...
Oh, yeah.
The company that's displacing the Na'vi to dig up the resources, that was Disney.
They're the Space Marines.
Yeah. Eventually Disney's going to train their own Space Marines and take over the Na'vi's territory.
Wow. First Disney park on Mars is going to be wild.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's going... One interesting part is, basically the most, realistic animatronic in Disney World is in an Avatar themed ride.
Really?
Yeah, the Na'vi shaman. It's a female shaman, blue person. Who, and it's like, I've seen it, and it's like scary how actually like smooth and realistic like this one is. It's very good.
You think that the Uncanny Valley is right there?
Oh yeah, it's unsettling.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna look that up. I'm just not going to.
Let's do it right now.
No, I don't want to.
Let's go on this adventure together on here.
Why would I want this?
Okay, Disney World Na'vi
Journey Shaman.
There we go. Okay, let's let's take a look. This is only 45 seconds. There it is.
Why?
Look, I mean, it's very smooth, but
yeah, it is really smooth.
It has like a whole like routine it goes through, waving its hands and stuff, and
like the fingers and everything. That's what I'm impressed by, like the fingers.
And you mentioned Uncanny Valley. I mean, it's strange to look at, but it's not that unsettling.
The only unsettling part is that it's blue.
I mean, she's got very long arms and very long fingers, but it's not like when it's something's Uncanny Valley, you get very uncomfortable, and like I'm not experiencing that watching that. That's interesting. Did you see that they debuted the? It's been blowing up all over TikTok. They debuted the Avengers compound section of Disney World.
Their campus, the Avengers campus. I think.
Yeah, and like so a couple of things. First of all, the most expensive sandwich in Disney World is gotten there. You can get.
Is it a hero?
No, it's a panini.
Oh my god!
It's
that they just missed an entire goddamn opportunity.
You think so, right? They but no, it's a panini of some kind. I think it's like a Cuban or something. But guess the price tag.
$15.
$15?
Yeah.
You can't get a freaking churro for less than $15 in Disney World. Are you kidding?
Serious? How much is it?
100 bones.
Bullshit. Really?
All right. Yeah. It's
100 bones for a Sammy?
100 gold dragons.
$100 American?
Yes. Let's see. Avengers sandwich. There we go. Disney.
There it is, yeah. Disney World.
Here we go. Yep.
Is it big at least, or is it just like...
There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's big. Like, look at it. It's about the length of a cookie sheet, about half the width of a cookie sheet.
Wait, no. It's if you guys are looking at the picture, it's what we're looking at is an employee holding a cookie sheet of sandwiches and tater tots and stuff like that. Now, is it the whole platter, or is it just one of those Sammys, though?
Well, let's take a look here. So this is from MarketWatch.com.
Thank you, MarketWatch, for this information.
Yeah, no affiliation.
No affiliation, not a sponsor.
Okay, it's been dubbed among the most expensive sandwiches in the world. Okay, that might be a bit of a stretch. It will be offered at Pym Test Kitchen, a new restaurant. So do you want to eat the stuff that like Hank Pym has just been cooking up in his nuclear laboratory?
Didn't his formula drive that one dude insane and try to kill a child? So I'm not really gonna.
It's Disney World. Nothing bad happens. Okay.
Except for when things go very wrong, like that kid got eaten by an alligator.
When was that?
Like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that wasn't Disney. That's just Florida.
So anyone looking for a sandwich? It's the whole platter.
Okay,
the whole thing is $100.
All right. So the panini features salami, rosemary, ham, provolone, and sun-dried tomatoes on toasted focaccia.
Yeah.
Along with marinara dipping sauce, potato bites, and arugula. So it's like a whole like cookie sheet that's like a platter. It's got all the stuff on it.
And also, look, it comes with like those banana peppers that are on there as well with pickles.
Okay,
and it also looks like it comes with a side of tater tots.
So for the whole sandwich and the platter and the fixins, it's $100. But it looks like for like just a section of the sandwich, like a normal human sized, it's going to be $15, which is still a lot for a sandwich. But honestly, that's less than I would have expected.
Yeah. So like when you said like $100, I was like, what? I was thinking like like a peanut butter and J.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, You've been to amusement parks. You know that like Dippin' Dots are like $6 for a
No,
stall.
the last time I went to an amusement park, I was like 10. So mommy and daddy paid for everything. So I didn't have to pay for anything. So all I had to do was say what I wanted, and then I got.
Okay, so you recall? Yeah, you were the youngest child. You recall that? You recall? All right. So you had no concept of money or cost of anything. You just went and you got.
Yeah.
Now. But do you remember how mom and dad used to drag their feet over shit like that?
No, I don't remember. I don't even remember what happened yesterday.
I guess
I
guess that was just me because I was the middle child. You know, when you
just absorb information but don't really know how to process it.
Yeah. So okay. Long story short, amusement parks are ridiculously expensive. Definitely pack your own lunch.
Oh yeah, pack your own. Wait, you can't bring food into Disney World.
If they can try and stop me. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, Jimmy, what is another show or TV or movie franchise movie that didn't get enough time in the sun or has overstayed their welcome?
Okay? I got one that's overstayed their welcome again. It's super low hanging fruit. SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh.
So
yeah.
Sponge.
You guys talk about the prequel series.
SpongeBob SquarePants. Yeah. So Camp Sponge, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, so SpongeBob SquarePants is another one. It falls into the same category of Simpsons and Family Guy. It's been around for such a long time that the writing quality has gone down and they're running out of ideas. But it is the Mickey of Nickelodeon. There's no way they're going to cancel it. That's kind of interesting because if you guys go over and watch Saber Spark at some point. Saber Spark's got a bunch of videos like the downfall of Rugrats, the downfall of XYZ, and one of them is the downfall of what happened to Nickelodeon. And basically it boils down to SpongeBob came out. It was like before that, it was cartoons like cartoon kids channels like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network weren't getting as much attention. They were able to be a little bit more experimental. That's how you got things like Monsters,
Ren and
Arnold,
Stimpy.
Rem and Stimpy. Yeah, they had a little bit more free reign. But then SpongeBob came along, and it was such a huge success that they were able to market the shit out of it, merchandise the shit out of it,
but also had to sacrifice creativity for being able to market to a wider, younger audience.
Exactly. So, eventually, you get things like Fairly Odd Parents, which were also big money makers, and eventually, there was kind of a weird time in between. I don't know. I want to say like 2008 and 2015, where it was kind of that had kind of reached a head. Like the quality of writing had reached its peak a while back, and they were struggling for new ideas. And that's when they started rerunning SpongeBob and Teen Titans Go over and over again. They didn't really have anything else at that point.
Yeah.
Teen
Titans Go was the Cartoon Network.
Yeah, I mean they both experienced similar problems at that point. So yeah, that it's basically the idea behind all these shows is that maybe they're not doing as well as they used to, but there's something about them that the companies can market and they just do not want to let them go. So yeah,
but SpongeBob has been around, and the original creator of SpongeBob, I don't remember his name. But he died, and one of the things he stipulated, because he didn't like a lot of
Steve Hillenburg.
Steve Hillenburg. He specified he didn't want a sophomoric a revamp of SpongeBob, like a camp or a school franchise
or SpongeBob Babies.
SpongeBob Babies, He loved the property that he created, and he didn't want it to see it destroyed or anything. And that was one of his dying wishes, don't fuck up. And Nickelodeon just kind of said, who cares? And we're gonna make a ton of money, and we're gonna have Camp SpongeBob soon.
Well, is that true?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Well, then of course they they came out with the CBS app and Paramount Plus, and one thing that all of these companies that are making these apps are running into is they need to fill it with content. They need content that's going to draw people away from Netflix and Hulu, or make them at least buy an extra subscription. And one of the things that they're Paramount Plus is bringing back Avatar, and they're making a new they got SpongeBob on there, but people have already watched SpongeBob. They need a new series. They need so I can see why they did that business wise, but that sucks that they went against Steven Hillenburg's wishes. History, yeah.
It was it's kind of like it's to be expected from these companies. You gotta expect that they'll do what will drive the profit, unfortunately. But SpongeBob is one of those things that we grew up with. We didn't have cable or anything during our childhood, so we had to go to like Sam's Club or the local library and buy the CDs, and we had Nautical Nonsense.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was mostly like second season episodes.
Best episode ever, which is not SB129, but the last one where they get trapped.
What? Club SpongeBob.
Club SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Waddy's going to work. Wadeworth's going to work. Where does he work?
At the Rusty Well.
You want to get? You're not part of the club.
So, I would argue that Band Geeks is the most hilarious episode.
Which one?
Band Geeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or Shanghai.
Oh, Shanghai. But the only way out is through the perfume department. I got an idea. Let's leave.
Before there was memes, me and my friends would just sit around and quote SpongeBob at each other until we died.
Yeah.
That was it. That was all it was. So we're running up on over an hour here.
Yeah.
Jared, do you have anything else before we start to wrap things up here?
Yeah. Even though a lot of these properties that we talked about have overstayed our welcome, you still get enjoyment out of it. More props to you. We just are getting tired of it. The thing I really care about is that all these properties are kind of just going through the motions and everything, and I feel like there should be a lot of new content out. There's a lot of good new stuff that we can watch instead of something that's been rehashed and with the same characters. Let's see something interesting.
Hell yeah.
That's all I want to get across. I think even with Transformers, yes, we've seen Transformers, so let's do something new with it.
Yeah, I'm into it. Yep, and you raised a good point. There's plenty of new material that can be had. So one of my favorite things to come out of this past month is the report that Zack Snyder was denied the ability to direct his own Star Wars movie. So he's like, screw it, I'm going to make my own Space Samurai saga. And I'm like, I'm not the hugest Zack Snyder fan, but if he's going to make a Space Samurai movie, I'm going to at least check it out, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like Zack Snyder, and I like his visions. I just think, every time he makes a movie, there's going to be, the studio's going to be like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Every time.
But to bring it back, I when things like Marvel, things like Star Wars, it's nice to know what you're getting into and be along for the ride. I'd also like to see some new ideas out there that I haven't seen before. As a customer who cannot make movies or come up with his own ideas, I would like them to be delivered to me, please.
Yes, make them, please.
Yes, please make me the entertainment.
Put them right into my eye holes.
That's right. Beam those new ideas right to my brain. I'm here for them. I will shell out the money for the 3D version ticket.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, while theaters are still open.
Hopefully, while this or the drive-in. Also, go support your local drive-in if you have one.
Oh yeah, we've got a local drive-in. It's so much fun, and they're the. Last year when there was no new movies coming out, they're like, okay, we're going to stay open through October and show Halloween movies and stuff. It was great. It was awesome.
Yeah. You know what is really fun about the drive-ins? You could just bring your own food. The last time I went to a drive-in, my friend brought like roast beef.
Yep.
just straight up roast beef with all the fixings and stuff. And he's like, all right, we were in the car and we're like, you guys bring popcorn? He turns around in the seat. He goes, no, we got roast beef in the trunk. And he pops the trunk. And it's like a full spread picnic. And I'm like, all right, this is pretty good.
Do you have an adapter so I can plug my crock pot in?
So we actually just basically were talking in the car. We didn't watch the movie at all. It was just kind of in the background. And we're just sitting there eating roast beef, dicking around. It was a lot of fun.
Definitely I love making mixed drinks, mixed with hot chocolate of some kind. Generally hot. What are they called? Peppermint patties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that time I made peppermint patties?
Hell yeah!
Gotta make them again.
Yeah, last time we went to the drive-in, I went driving with my fiance. We had hot chocolate mixed with Baileys and stuff. It was awesome. So yeah, definitely check out your local drive-in. It's a fun experience. It's not a lot of people like it, but I love it. It's definitely a fun experience.
And also you get the privacy of your own car, which is also really nice.
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right. So we are out of time here. So
yes, we are. But please give us a like and a follow. Follow us on our Instagram and Facebook, and of course on our TikTok, where you'll be seeing Jimmy a lot. He comes out with new videos at least every week, and they're really funny and really good, and sometimes really insightful. Give us a follow. And if you guys have any suggestions on what we should talk about in the next week, or any subjects, any movies, or you want to know more about it, message us either on our Facebook, our Instagram, or Twitter, or
right here in the chat.
Right here in the chat. We'll go right at it. We'll do our best, and we'll give you an honest answer.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. I have been Jimmy.
Your sign-off thing is this.
Okay, fine. Boop.
You fucked it up.
All right, let's go. All right, let's start again.
You fucked it up.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching.
Start over again. I'm still pissed. I'm like, I gotta simmer down. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'm simmered.
Okay.
I'm cool.
Okay.
I've simmered down.
No, just turn that down to simmer.
How much simmer down? No. I can't be simmering. The whole point is that I was pissed off and I was simmering.
Like so that dial on the stove right now, it's about an 8. You're at a rolling boil.
Okay. Well, now I'm simmering again. I'm starting to boil.
Okay, just turn it right back down to a 1.
Right.
Just turn that right back down to 1. Just let it simmer. Okay.
Just simmer.
All right.
Okay.
In fact,
I'm not supposed to be simmering.
In fact,
I'm supposed to go under simmering.
Okay, it's
now I'm simmering.
Okay, it's done. You can even just leave it on that hot.
Okay. I'm calming down.
Okay, cool.
Here we go.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Jimmy.
This has been Jarrett.
I miss Matt.